I am Madhi from IB College Sonipat, and it's my pleasure to introduce today's resource person, Professor Dr. Madan Goel. Former Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Madan Goel is known as the founder, Medonomics School of Thought, and is superannuated professor of Kurukshetra University. He has 44 years of teaching and 17 years of administrative experience, including Vice Chancellor, Saras University Gurugram, Jagannath University Jaipur, Director cum Vice Chancellor Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, Sri Perumbudur, RGNIYD, an institution of national importance appointed by President of India, Pro Vice Chancellor Veer Kunwar Singh University, Ara, State of Bihar, Dean of Colleges and Social Sciences, Chairman, Department of Economics and Department of Journalism at Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. He also works as Advisor, Public Finance, 6th State Finance Commission, Haryana. He is a researcher, guide, orator, prolific writer, and experienced in educational governance in university. He is a recipient of 2 gold medals for standing first class first in MPhil Economics and PGDJMC. Dr. Goel,
मैं सर बिजी हूँ अभी लेक्चर चल ठीक है
Dr. Goel, as protagonist of Medonomics, has international recognition. He was the first ICCR, Indian Council for Cultural Relations, Chair Professor in South Korea at Hankook University of Foreign Studies, Seoul. He is bestowed upon the honor of Ambassador for Peace by the Universal Peace Federation, Adjunct Professor at School of Indic Studies, Institute of Advanced Sciences, Dartmouth, US. Dr. Goel was conferred Rotary Foundation Award for International Understanding in 1983, which provided him with the opportunity to be India's representative in USA, UK, and Canada. He has also been in South Korea, Sri Lanka, Australia, Norway, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Nepal. He is a life member of the International Film and Television Club of AAFT. As a National Front, Professor Goel, honored with Professor J.P. Mehta Academic Excellence Award 2023 for his outstanding groundbreaking research contribution in the field of economics by Bundelkhand University, Jhansi. Rashtrapita Rashtriya Samman 2023 has been bestowed upon him for propounding Medonomics School of Thought as Non-Violence in Economics by Global Scholar Foundation, Pune. Professor Goel was honored in 2018 with the Dr. Radhakrishnan Education Excellence Award by the Indian Institute of Oriental Heritage, Kolkata. NAC Bangalore has also utilized the services of Professor Goel as chairperson, member coordinator, year team several times. He represented UGC as its nominee in the advisory committee DSP3 SPP Department of Economics, Osmania University, Hyderabad during 2009 to 14. He was a member of Board of Governors, Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan and National Service Scheme, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India. He is a member of Board of Governors of the Academy of Grassroots Studies and Research of India since 2021 onwards. One of the distinct honors professor involved in research can have is the publication of the book Economics, a Research Journey with Professor M. Goel, edited by Dr. Pradeep Singh Chauhan and published by VK Global Publications. His area of research is economics of human resource development and Indian economy. He has 483 publications, including 5 books, 1 monograph, 120 journal research papers, 38 chapters, 60 conference proceedings, and 259 print media articles to his credit. He has successfully guided 25 PhD and 25 MPhil research scholars. He has completed 2 research projects and established his credentials in economic journalism and development communication. Professor Goel has served as the editor of KUK Research Journal of Arts and Humanities and Journal of Haryana Studies, in addition as the chief editor of Kotelya. He is on the editorial board of Finance India. He has drafted the intellectual property rights IPR policy of KUK as nodal officer IPR cell. he enjoys the status of a spiritual citizen with 267 blogs in Times of India on www.speakingtree.in, and the list of his achievements is endless. We are privileged to have you here, sir. I, on behalf of all the participants, welcome you and request you to please start the session. Over to you, sir.
Sir, kindly unmute yourself. सर काइंडली अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ. आपका माइक सर म्यूट है. पूनम मैम एक बार सर के माइक को अनम्यूट कर दीजिए प्लीज.
Doing it. I am doing it. Okay. But I wanted to have that PPT. It is there, and to do this, I have to go in for that slideshow. You just tell me whether I am able to do it properly or not.
Sure.
Okay? I am doing it now. Is it visible? PPT is visible?
Sir.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Verma. I am grateful to Dr. Shefali Nagpal for providing me this wonderful opportunity to talk to you this morning on a very important topic, which is Gita-based neonomics. Let me tell you that people know Kurukshetra. I'm speaking from Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is known to the entire world, but sadly for Mahabharata. I, being a student, teacher, researcher, living in Kurukshetra, promote Kurukshetra as a place to be the first ever university on the planet. Let me repeat, Kurukshetra as a place is the first ever university on the planet because the objective of a university is to get knowledge. And the best possible knowledge has been given by Lord Krishna himself in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Let me tell you, Bhagavad Gita is a ism-neutral, religion-free treatise on management, relationship management, and welfare economics. To move on the ladder of success in any walk of life, including teaching, mandated under National Education Policy 2020, we have to move with morality, opulence, victory, and empowerment. And for that, we must believe Krishna as God and Arjun as our own soul. If you put it in Google search engine and search out Ek Shloki Gita, you will find Yatra Yogeshwar Krishno, Yatra Parthar Dhanurdhar, Tatra Sivijyo Mumurduta Nitramatramam. Meaning thereby, we have to move in our endeavors as teachers with morality, opulence, victory, and empowerment for promoting our culture around the world and aspire for Viksit Bharat towards 2047, which is my topic today, relevance of neonomics for Viksit Bharat. The goal of this presentation today is to discuss the transformational changes that has laid down the foundation of Viksit Bharat by 2047, including National Education Policy of 66 pages developed in 27 headings as an invention. Let me tell you, the government of India has given you that National Education Policy of 66 pages, and out of which, if you see higher education, that is from point 9 to 17 headings in this. And I call it invention. To make it innovation, it is our duty, humble duty as a teacher to understand, analyze, interpret, and adopt national education policy, which I call invention. Let us convert it into innovation. Application of invention is called innovation. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You might have seen Union Budget 2023-24. It has a size of rupees 45 lakh 3,097 crores targeted for Viksit Bharat in 2047 with 7 saptrishis, conveying the confidence of the government in neonomic school of thought with commitment. I prevail upon you to understand that Government of India is interested to have Viksit Bharat towards 2047, when we become the global leader in terms of all performance indicator, economic as well as non-economic, and that calls for understanding, analyzing, interpreting Needonomics school of thought. To understand Gita-based Needonomics in totality for Viksit Bharat is the objective of this presentation I am making you today. Needonomics fits into the larger narrative of sustainable development, ensuring intergeneration equity through Nido consumption, Nido saving, Nido investment, Nido exports, and Nido growth by adopting spiritually guided materialism strategy. We have to become state smart to exist and excel as consumer, producer, distributor, and traders, practically to aspire for Viksit Bharat towards 2047. For Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047, we have to understand Bharat. Let me tell you here, few years back, there was a question in civil services which I asked in General Studies paper 3. What is the difference between Bharat and India? Most of the people responded, Bharat lives in villages and India lives in cities, maintaining two Bharats, two India. But today, let me tell you, Bharat stands for, Bha means knowledge, Rat means seeker. Therefore, Bharat is a knowledge seeker economy, and we have to understand it more than independent nation declared in August 1947, which is available in most of the English dictionaries, that India is independent nation declared in August, sadly. Now there is an abbreviation for opposition group also, India. I don't want to enter into that politics, but I want to tell you that we have to understand Bharat as a knowledge economy to enjoy the status of Vish Guru. Let me tell you, we may stand anywhere in terms of economic indicators, but none of the country could dare to challenge us for the status of Vish Guru, and that is because of Bharat as a knowledge economy, because of the spiritual wisdom we have. Let me tell you, Needonomics is basically based on logo of LIC of India, Yogam Kshemam Bahamyam. LIC says your welfare is our responsibility. But let me tell you, I don't have a single LLC policy till today. But I feel insured when I understood what is Yogam Kshemam Bahamyam from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, shloka number 22. Anyanya chintanto mayojana paryupaste tesham nityaviyuktanam yogam kshemam bahamyam. Meaning thereby, Lord Krishna says, if you believe me completely, absolutely, and wholeheartedly, whatever you need, that I'll give you. Whatever you have, that I'll take care of. And that is the gentleman promise of God to satisfy your needs, not greeds. So, Needonomics is economics of needs. Don't reduce your needs, rather create needs. And let me tell you honestly, whenever I created a need, that stand fulfilled by that very moment. I can give you 101 evidences to prove it that Needonomics, economics of need, is based on Gita. My Guru, the heart of Krishna, is a common sense approach which is ethical, non-violent, environment friendly, and spiritual in nature. We have to understand and adopt Gita-based Needonomics with globalization. Think globally and act locally for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is the objective of our culture, our civilization in Bharat. Here, let me tell you, our honorable Prime Minister, when we were suffering from COVID era, came out with Atmanirbharta. Atmanirbharta has two connotations in English: self-sufficiency and self-reliance. Self-sufficiency is an objective which we pursued in our plans up to fourth plan. Fifth plan onwards, we shifted our objective from self-sufficiency to self-reliance, meaning thereby Bharat is not to be a closed economy as a frog of the well, thinking in terms of producing everything for us. We have been talking about be vocal for local, but ultimately we have to understand globalization, think globally, and act locally so that we are not being misunderstood by the international community that they are talking in terms of self-sufficiency as a closed economy objective. We believe in self-reliance, which is a objective to be pursued in an open economy where there is an international trade. We have self-reliance when we achieve a favorable balance of payments. Balance of payments convey the status of any economy in terms of foreign trade, including exports, imports, individuals, and all other payments. A systematic record of all economic transactions between one country and the other country is called balance of payments. Therefore, we have to adopt Gita-based neonomics, not for self-sufficiency as a closed economy objective, but with globalization, thinking globally, acting locally for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Nido solutions of all challenges and worldly problems in the present era calls for Nidonomic school of thought. Let me honestly tell you, my dear friends, that whatever challenges, whatever problems today we are facing in the world is because of greedonomics, economics of greed. Talk of any problem: terrorism, corruption, nepotism, discrimination, discontent, all kind of problems are because of greed. Therefore, it is our moral duty to search solutions for all these challenges and worldly problems in this Nidonomic school of thought. Nido altruism, based on the philosophy of NSS, National Service Scheme, not me but you. Let me tell you here, I started as a NSS volunteer. That time I understood not me but you in reality and have been adopting it in my practical life. And I got an opportunity starting from NSS volunteer to be in the Board of Governors of National Service Scheme at the Government of India level when I was the Director, Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, which is an institution of national importance. Now, I want to emphasize that our responsibility is to earn more than the expenses. If you are earning 1 rupee, spending 50 rupee, you can save, Nido saving, and that can be shared with others to stand them for helping themselves. If you are earning 100 rupees, spending 110 rupees, then you cannot go in for altruism. Therefore, to do altruism, our incomes, our earnings should be greater than our expenses. That comes out for adopting Nidonomic school of thought. Here, let me tell you, we have to do what not, why not, when not, where not, for whom. Let me honestly tell you, we are victim of polluted work culture everywhere. You might have seen the strikers culture. Many people go in for strikes time and again. To create work culture, we have to understand WWW as work without worries. Never understand WWW as a World Wide Web, which can create problem for us by the information revolution, which has come out with Swami Gugalanand Maharaj, which provides you every solution. But ultimately, to have work culture, we have to think of WWW as work without worries. Without this, it will be very difficult to survive, exist, and excel as, and we cannot expect to be Viksit Bharat towards 2047, that calls for work culture to be built by working without worries, working without worldly problems, and come out honestly, work and with commitment and honesty of purpose. Viksit Bharat has stakeholders. Stakeholder, first of all, is the global society. As I told to you, we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, globalized society. And if you understand society, all minus I is society. Around I, around you is society. Today, my society is the participant of ongoing refresher course in Malviya Mission Center of Bhagat Phool Singh University, Kanpur. So whatever I will do it for the sake of the stakeholders attending my lecture today. Let me tell you, the society has various actors. As in economics, we talk about, we have 4 actors: consumers, producers, distributors, and traders. Let me tell you, the entire gamut of economics and economics revolves around these actors. And out of these actors, when I was a student, I was told that there is a law, supply creates its own demand. At that time, producer used to be called hero. But today, consumer is the hero. And whatever we have to do for the sake of Viksit Bharat, we have to think of consumer for nido consumption. Nido consumption means righteous consumption, judicious consumption, not minimizing consumption. Here, I would like to tell you that people in India are dying not more due to starvation, but the rate of death due to overconsumption is more than the rate of death by starvation. This needs to be understood by the stakeholders, that consumer needs to understand and adopt nido consumption in totality, that is righteous consumption, that is judicious consumption, not going in for eat to live culture. Most of us have a culture, eat to live. We want to survive. That is why we eat food. But Americans like us are not believing in eat to live. They live to eat. They have a consumption culture. They go in for calling dinner day as a big day. So, nido consumption calls for understanding a eclectic approach. Let me honestly confess before you, I have many dictionaries in my home, and I struck off the word consumption practically at that time. Because consumption of food is not basically wasting the resources, is not basically de-utilizing it. It is basically the use of utility, not destruction of utility. Therefore, we have to use the utility not only for surviving, but excelling, working, and that comes out to be concept of investment. Therefore, consumption, nido consumption is a kind of investment which increases our productivity and efficiency for all times to come. And let me tell you, as in Bollywood and Hollywood, there is a hero, and the story doesn't complete with heroine without heroine. A consumer is always interested in goods and services. Market is full of goods. The products are being sold firstly at 100%. After 1 month, they are subsidized to 50%. Then 2 free with 1 kind of things are going on. Therefore, it is our duty as a consumer to understand what kind of goods, what quality of goods we need, what kind of services we expect after sale of all products, electronic or non-electronics we buy. In my scheme of things, let me tell you, as in Bollywood and Hollywood, the story of nidonomics doesn't complete without the role of villain. I believe all those people who create hurdles for a hero consumer to meet the heroine is called villain. And if I say our finance minister, when goes in for budget proposals, and that is increasing the prices, creating problems for the consumers, then probably it's a villain. Now, we have to understand the implications of any policy we undertake for Viksit Bharat towards 2047. All of you are students of economics, commerce, and management, and you understand this indifference map. Indifference curve is a locus of two combination of goods, and they have same utility of that. And if we are initially at SIC today in the present times, any policy which we are adopting as we did it in Union Budget 2023-24, we want to go at a higher level. To go to a higher level, what we should do, that needs to be understood. And in case people like me who are overweight, they have to reduce their consumption. We have to come to as SIC level. Therefore, NIDO consumption by consumers to be understood in right perspectives in terms of this indifference map. This can be different for different categories of consumer. You can think of poor people. If you know we are taking any policy in terms of Union Budget 2024-23-24, and that is basically increasing inflation, that will lead to their reduction in consumption. Therefore, NIDO consumption for NIDOnomics component must be understood in right perspectives for all categories of consumer, poor, rich, and most importantly, middle class. Let me tell you, NIDOnomics is a concept relevant for middle class more than rich people, more than poor people, so that they can understand what NIDO consumption is as a righteous consumption, as a judicious consumption, to go on to a higher level of consumption, not to be affected by many things. You know, Viksit Bharat is not possible without entrepreneurs, the producers. And for that, we have to take our production possibility curve upward. Most of the programs going in the country today, including Skill India, Startup India, Make in India, all these programs to promote people to go in for self-employment opportunities so that they become job giver, not job seeker. From that point of view, we have to understand the role of NIDOnomics in NIDO production that takes us to a higher production possibility curve. We should not produce only for us. We have to produce for exports. We have to spare something for altruism, doing charity, giving to others who are in need around the world. Therefore, this conceptualization of NIDO production by the producers have to be understood by all of us, that how producers can be promoted by adopting NIDOnomics, economics of needs for the economy to become Viksit Bharat towards 2047. Implications for NIDO distribution to reduce income inequalities. Probably as a researcher, you know that income inequalities can be measured by two techniques. I have this Lorenz curve. Lorenz curve tells us the income inequalities prevailing in the country. If it is further away from line of equal distribution, which is being drawn in the middle of this line of equality, x is equal to y, and the gap between is called Lorenz curve, and that gap conveys the income inequalities. This can also be measured by Gini coefficient, the area down the Lorenz curve divided by the area under the Lorenz curve plus in between the equal line and Lorenz curve. That gives us the coefficient of Gini coefficient, which can measure the poverty. Probably you know it. And the objective of NIDOnomics for Viksit Bharat is to reduce these income inequalities. Although during our planned period, we have been making serious attempts for solving the problems of income inequalities, but we have rather increased income inequalities. Last week, one of the journalists asked me a question on Haryana. You know, Haryana enhanced the definition of poor people for getting benefits from 1.80 lakh to 3 lakh. That was not accepted by many people. I was asked by a journalist, how do you interpret it? On the one hand, we say that in terms of many indicators, Haryana is number one, but in terms of poverty, it is increasing. And that necessitated the need of enhancing the definition of poor people. So I was sharing with the gentleman, the journalist, that basically we created income inequalities in the state through real estate. You know, there is an organization, now the name changed. There used to be Haryana Urban Development Authority, and first of its plots were distributed in Karnal, and that distribution took place after 1 year of booking, and the government utilized the money for 1 year. After, when that distribution of plots took place, they created another opportunity for the people, for the realtors to buy plots in Panchkula, and that created the story of income inequalities in Haryana. I confess, even today, income inequalities in the state is because of real estate. Same plot available in Kurukshetra hardly cost 1 crore, which cost 10 crores in Gurgaon, NCR. Meaning thereby, income inequalities are a result of many of the decisions we have taken in terms of making people richer, and the gap between rich and poor has been increasing. The duty of every one of us is to reduce these income inequalities, the gap between rich and poor. That calls for reducing inequalities in education also, which is the sole objective of National Education Policy 2020, which makes a case for enhancing the general enrollment ratio to at least 50% level in higher education. This is very important aspect. I told to you, we have to be a self-reliant economy having favorable balance of payment, and that can be understood by this diagram, which we have been using for the bargaining power to be created among two nations. You know, if we talk about two countries and specializing in good X, good Y, they can go to a higher level of consumption level by enhancing their bargaining power. That is possible if you think in terms of nido consumption for nido trade. If you produce whatever you want to consume and you don't spare anything for exporting, you cannot increase bargaining power. To increase this bargaining power, we must understand this Edgeworth box diagram for exchange between various countries for product good X and good Y, and that justifies the nido trade which we have to undertake for globalization of Indian economy as internationalization of Indian economy for Viksit Bharat towards 2047. To do justice to this topic today, let me tell you honestly, to achieve success in our endeavors of Viksit Bharat with ethics, morality, we as consumers, stakeholders, producers, distributors, and traders must convert monkey mind to monk mind. You may ask a question to me. Firstly, what is monkey mind and what is monk mind? You know, our ancestors used to be monkey. You might have seen monkeys also. Sometimes monkeys are notorious. And spiritual people, the saints are called possessing monkey mind. Now, in case we are genuinely interested for Viksit Bharat towards 2047 with ethics, we have to convert our monkey mind into monk mind. I'd like to give an example. Professor Shefali, are you listening to me? Dr. Shefali, you are there? Varmaji, you are there? Who is there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I'm here only.
Let me share you how to convert monkey mind into monk mind.
Sir, yes.
You have celebrations of birthdays. When somebody is celebrating birthday and the guest becomes monkey mind, they order in a restaurant anything to be brought, sometimes giving a choice. But when they have to throw their own party, they becomes monk mind. That is, they want to reduce their cost. Meaning thereby, monkey mind can be made to monk mind with nido consumption, not wasting the resources, not eating more than required. That is called conversion of monkey mind to monk mind. We have to adopt eclectic approach to consumption, not eating to live only or simply living to eat only, but we have to go in for fasting. Today is a very pious day. Today is Utpanna Ekadasi. Read the relevance of fasting, Utpanna Ekadasi, which is being celebrated today. And let me tell you, we must fast at least twice a month on every Ekadashi, which is very important for us to convert monkey mind to monk mind. And on Davasi, we should have feasting. We should celebrate by eating rice. Normally, people are advised not to eat rice on Ekadashi, but it is necessary to eat rice for delightful food to celebrate Davasi.
Excuse me, sir.
That
Sorry
makes
for
case
interruption.
for becoming monkey mind. We have to
Excuse me,
imbibe the
sir.
lessons from Gita-based Leadonomics, economics of needs, which stands authenticated in shloka number 22 of chapter 9. And we have to keep a check on greed. This can be done. You are, I think, many of the young teachers may be having kids, young kids, and they can try to check the greed of their children even. Here I would like to quote a book. Don't eat the marshmallow. You can note down. Don't eat the marshmallow. Even if you will see my message on Diwali greetings, I use this book. Don't eat the marshmallow yet. Here I would like to tell you, if a mother wants to go out and wants to keep the child at home, she gives marshmallow. Marshmallow is a kind of food. It is a kind of chocolate. She says to the child that, okay, I'm going out. If you stay at home and you have these 2 chocolates or 2 marshmallows, if you want to eat, you can eat. But if you don't eat, I'll give you double of it. Meaning thereby motivating the child to stop greed, increase patience, and think of having 2 afterwards. Present immediately is being talked about, but in future, if you are getting double the benefit, that can create the capacity among our youth to check the greed, and we can take number of other things to understand it. We have to become Vish Guru by learning Gurudom of the self. Let me honestly tell you, becoming Vish Guru is possible only if we become Guru of the self as a soul. And let me tell you, soul is immortal. Death rate is 0 for a soul. As a physical body, everybody is to die. I have to die. You have to die. So taking into account for Vish Guru, we have to understand Gurudom of the self. That needs to be done by us as teachers. We have to promote it among our students as this.
सर सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू सर स्लाइड्स चेंज नहीं हो रही है एक बार आप देखें सर प्लीज
It is not being shown issue of good governance discussion. Issues
Hello?
for discussion is going on. It's there. I think it should be there. I am able to see it.
सर यहाँ पे विजिबल नहीं है, सिंगल ही है जब से।
सर ये सिर्फ फर्स्ट स्लाइड शो हो रही है सर अभी स्क्रीन पे ना, एक बार आप दोबारा देखें।
Let me do it again.
राइट
This was visible?
Not yet, sir.
The diagrams were not visible.
नो
Issue for
सर,
discussion. Issue for discussion is not there.
नो सर, नो
Then what we should do? Anybody can help me?
सर एक बार इसको आप क्लोज करके दोबारा ओपन करें सर प्लीज।
Okay, let me end it.
यस नाउ इट्स विजिबल सर, इशू फॉर डिस्कशन सर।
Okay, let me do it. I will not go for that, what you call this slideshow. Let me use it if it's visible to you.
सर
Now you are able to read?
सर
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I am coming to third point. Becoming. Let me show earlier one also so that you can take the screenshots if you want to have. Let me go to the first one. You could see only first. First you saw it.
Yes, sir.
Second, you can click it on your cameras. Goal for the presentation.
Okay.
Then introduction, I talked to you. Then this slide was there. You could not see them.
No, sir.
No,
Why
sir.
didn't you point out at that time when I was talking?
It is visible, sir.
Okay. Stakeholders of the Viksit Bharat. Implications for nido consumption. Implications for nido production. Implications for nido distribution. Implications for nido trade. And now I am on this issue for discussion. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. Now, now let me come. We have to be alert, aware, and awake. AAA as soul. Without fear. Fear is false evidences appearing real. Sheraya, Sheraya. Heaven is not going to fall. Therefore, if we have to become Vish Guru, we have to learn Gurudom of the self as a soul with alertness, awakening, and awareness with Vivek. To expect nido exports from Viksit Bharat, we must adopt NAW approach of marketing. Let me explain you what is this NAW approach of marketing. Some of you may be teaching marketing. Are you? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Some of you may be teaching marketing. Let me teach you NAW approach of marketing. I have something in my hand. Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Pen.
Pen, sir.
No, this is not a pen, but this is a pen type water filter. Water filter pen type with which you can purify a glass of water wherever you are. You may be in a train, you may be in a bus, anywhere you can travel with this pen. Do you need it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many of you need it? I believe all of you need it.
Yes.
Therefore, what I am doing, I am creating a need of pen type water filter which has come out from my startup which I want to promote to you. Pen type water filter is a product which I have brought it and I want to create its need. Everybody is interested now. Now, I have not told you the price of this. I have not told you how much you have to pay. If I say you have to pay me $500 for one pen, are you still interested?
No.
No, sir.
Nobody is having $500. Now, it is my duty as a producer, marketer, seller to make it affordable and price it worth of it. That constitutes NAW approach. First, create the need, make it affordable and price worth of it. If I say this is not in $500 for you, for the fraternity of teachers, my man is going to come you and he will charge just 1 rupee per day for 365 days. Now, how many of you are interested?
Many of us.
All of you are interested. Meaning thereby, I have adopted this NAW approach of marketing with optimism of nido consumption, of using pen type filter and avoiding injustice with inequalities in consumption levels as a nido style, dwelling in the domain of nidonomics. Let me tell you, income inequalities are there. There are inequalities in consumption also. You might be knowing in terms of environmental terminology that global warming is going on and we are victim of global warming. It is because of consumption level by advanced countries like US. The consumption of paper is 400 times in USA than India, and these inequalities are causing problem of global warming, environmental pollution, and we have to change it to Nido lifestyle that can lead us by adopting NAW approach of marketing for expecting Nido exports from Viksit Bharat to be sold around the world. Here I would like to tell you, it is our duty. We have to creative, inventive, innovative for thinking of some products to be produced. Almost all of you may be eating jaggery good these days during winter in Haryana. People eat jaggery good after any food you take, whether you take breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Meaning thereby we use jaggery. But sadly, it is not being thought of to be exported to the entire world for as a dessert, as a appetizer. If we start producing jaggery good in terms of chocolates, toffees, desserts, ice cream, probably we can fetch a fortune for the Viksit Bharat for having only export of good which is sufficient to have sufficient balance of payments. Not only that, khadi we have been using. If Mahatma Gandhi could have been alive today, he could not have talked of khadi for Swadeshi. He could have talked of khadi for globalization of Indian economy. Because in Viksit Bharat, we have to promote Nido exports. I justify convert Khadi Village Industry Commission into a multinational company so that it gives a brand name to all the producers in the micro small enterprises to contribute towards Nido exports. That can fetch a fortune for all of us. To work without worries, I have already told to you, WWW for Viksit Bharat, we have to ensure real education. Let me tell you, NEP is an invention. It is our duty to make it innovation with real education. I conceptualize it as 3P use of 3H. That is proper, productive, and practical use of hands, head, and heart. Although many things has been talked about in that 66-page document for holistic education in terms of HOTS, higher order thinking skills, enhancing creativity, critical thinking, and innovativeness. But for real education, we have to understand 3P use of 3H. I repeat, proper, productive, and practical use of hands, head, and heart. Let me tell you, all kind of deficits at all levels, at a national level, at a state level, at a local government level, including fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, budget deficit, primary deficit, trade deficit, and above all, trust can be addressed by reducing the coefficient of distrust. Coefficient of distrust is a very important issue. I can give you a number of examples where we are able to measure coefficient of distrust. Suppose government of Haryana has adopted prohibition policy. At time, the then Chief Minister approached the Planning Commission, giving them 500 crore rupees, but they were given only 50 crore rupees. Therefore, 50 divided by 50, 500 minus 50 gives you the coefficient of distrust. And that coefficient of distrust has to be brought to zero level. Then only we can think of reducing all kind of deficits. And recently you might have seen, last week there were elections. All political parties promote free rider problem, which is basically causing tensions in minds of economists. How we can think of solving the problem of economy by going in for this free rider problem. We will have to replace it by user pay principle with self-consciousness. Even the polluters who is polluting the economy, polluting the environment, they must have to pay the prices for polluting this. User pay principle needs to be adopted for implementation of the Nidonomics concept for Viksit Bharat, which has been thought of in terms of Sapt Rishi, 7 rishis, which are necessary but not sufficient for achieving Viksit Bharat. We need faith in the capabilities and capacities of youth with a disciplined lifestyle for understanding the power of worship with devotion. Let me tell you, we have to inculcate worship is work and vice versa. You put in Google search engine, find out work is worship and vice versa. You will get my article. Therein, I was able to prove work is worship and vice versa. And it took hardly a week to prepare that article. But writing an article, worship is work and vice versa, I took 1 month, and that with devotion. And now I can say worship is a work, and that enhances your capacities and capabilities as I have increased. Let me tell you, I get up early in the morning at 3 o'clock. When I was not getting up early in the morning, many work, academic work, including paper setting, translating papers, taking 10 hours sometimes. The same work, after getting up early in the morning, I'm able to do it in 3 hours, which I used to do it in 10 hours. And that is only by getting up early in the morning and sleeping little earlier. I sleep around 9 o'clock, but get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that has increased my capabilities and capacities to create time, more time with efficiency and productivity. That can be done with disciplined lifestyle to be understood by every one of us for making India, Bharat as Viksit Bharat towards 2047. We have to address illness in the behavior of all stakeholders in the economy, including consumers, producers, distributors, traders, and policymakers, and above all, politicians. Politicians both in power and opposition. If we are not able to make a change, transformation in the behavior of these stakeholders, it will be difficult, not impossible, to achieve Viksit Bharat towards 2047. And that calls for becoming smart. Everybody understands smart today. All of you are possessing smartphones. If you put it in Google search engine smart, you will get smartphone, smart police, over smart, stupid smart. But we need to become street smart. Street smart means a person who understands the environment around us. And the best possible street smart culture we have learned during COVID era, when lockdown was there. We were told not to go to the temples. At that time, I was perceiving my physical body as a temple which needs to be cleaned properly, taking care of our health, and we use that basically to become street smart by understanding the lockdown environment, how we have coped up and come out of the crisis. Now we are not victim of COVID era. In post-COVID era, we have done many wonders. And here let me tell you, as a researcher, when we were doing research, sometimes we used to say before reforms, after reforms, and earlier in history, people talk of before Christ, BC, and now we should do research before COVID, BC, DC during COVID, AC after COVID, not before Christ or after Christ or before reforms or after reforms, but now research in any aspect of life, in any aspect of consumption, production, distribution, and trade can be thought in terms of before COVID, during COVID, after COVID, how we have been able to become street smart. You know very well, there was hardly anybody using online platform before COVID. Even in education, blended mode of education is going to exist. Work from home is a culture now being adopted, particularly for women who are needing childcare leave. So they are being given the opportunity to work online instead of offline. Although, as a teacher, I believe there is no substitute of offline teaching. Classroom cannot be substituted by anything. You may find a difference, but sometimes we find talking to our audience through online becomes easier. Sitting it at home can make you comfortable. So let me, I think we can have a break or we have to continue. Sir, Vermaji?
Yes, sir. We can have a small break for 10 minutes, sir.
Okay, we can have a break then. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.